Hey guys, what's going on? It's Matt Winning at winningstrength.com. And today's Trophy Tuesday is about the year 2001. The trophy that I just saw you was won at the Blacksmith Open, which was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And that year was an impressive year for me as far as just work ethic alone. So in 2001, I was, when I could, driving back and forth to train with Louis Simmons at Westside Barbell, while also going to school full time and then working part time as a skilled labor guy at the hospital as a welder slash mechanic. The other thing that I was doing as well in between classes and when I could was I was an assistant strength coach for Ball State University, usually between the hours of like 5:30 in the morning till about 8 o'clock when school started. And then my lunch break was somewhere between 11 to 2 or 3. And I would do the teams that were available at that time. And then after that, 5:30, 6 o'clock, we would shut the doors and we would train. So weekends were full of work and training at Louis when I could. Weekdays were full of class, training, and working in the weight room as an assistant strength coach. So that taught me what 12, 13, and 14-hour days were like and what it may be like if I went to college strength conditioning. At that time, I didn't really realize that I could do what I'm doing now, which is like private strength conditioning, because there weren't really a lot of people talking about that. And it wasn't really a path that anybody had paved yet. So what I started to realize after meeting like guys like Charles Poliquin and dudes like that was that you could actually work your own schedule and do your own thing. Not to say that being a college strength coach is a bad idea or a bad job. It's an amazing job, but usually it's full of a lot of hours, very early into very late, not very conducive for being strong yourself. That's why you don't see, in my opinion, a lot of college strength coaches or a lot of pro strength coaches that are very, very good weightlifting or strength conditioning athletes themselves. Much of that is because, one, it takes a long time to reach that level, so a lot of them are older, but two, the demands of the job also require you to sacrifice a lot of your physical capacity in order for others to be successful. In 2001, I realized that I could do both if my lifestyle was conducive for those particular goals. So even though I was working and training at the same time, as well as trying to drive back and forth to an elite facility, I realized that it could be done, but my scheduling had to be extremely monitored as far as what time I ate, when I went to bed. There were very few nights that I was above 9 o'clock before I went to sleep because I had to be up so early to train athletes in the morning. And then work started at 7:30 at the hospital as a welder. But when I would drive to Louis, they started to work out around 8 o'clock in the morning, which meant that I had to leave my house somewhere around 5 o'clock in order to get there at a little bit before 8 o'clock. So talk about insanely long days with extreme amounts of pressure as far as getting things done on a timely basis so that I didn't waste a lot of time doing this and that. So my social life was mostly just my lifting, which I am in high regard of now, because a lot of the guys that didn't take the particular stuff that I took seriously don't have near the jobs or the type of career that I have now, whether it be money or time or whatever that may be. But 2001 was definitely a pivotal year. Numbers in that year, it was somewhere around the low mid sevens on squats, low mid fives on benches, and high sixes to low sevens on deadlifts, which was putting me at one of the top lifters in the country as a junior, let alone as a drug tested USAPL athlete. So a lot of times people will ask me about anabolic steroids and, all that stuff and, in performance enhancing drugs. And what I try to tell people is, listen, you definitely want at least to get at least 10 years of solid training under your belt where all of your genetic capacity is completely maxed. And then you actually have to learn how to train smarter, because the problem with anabolics is, although they are a moderate help to getting you stronger, if you're training like a dumbass, it's just going to compound the problem down the road. So what I learned was I was fairly smart at training by the time I was 21, 22, the time of this trophy, and I was completely drug free. So everything that I was doing, there was no room for error because the recovery process of that was huge. So I had to learn how to sleep better. I had to learn how to eat more food than I knew that I could eat at that time, because I was trying to maintain a 275-pound weight on a collegiate budget that every semester was taking a lot of my money. And even if I wanted to take drugs at that time, I wouldn't have been able to afford it. Not nearly as available as it is today, number one. And number two, I had just enough money to get schooling paid for and be able to eat. So my point being is with this particular Trophy Tuesday is that remember that try to max yourself out naturally as much as possible. I didn't start taking anything that was performance enhancing until 2004, and had already been training for 12 years straight. So I put my time, my effort, my energy in, and a lot of that would show in the USAPL record books and things like that. Consistently drug tested from the age of about 14 to 24. But again, trying to max out your natural capacity is doable. It just takes lifestyle change, meaning like you have to have all that stuff dialed in: nutrition, sleep, training smart, all this other stuff, which Louis was a huge help with the training smart. And then Dr. Kathy Beals was a huge help with the nutrition side. And then the sleep side was something that I was always accustomed to anyway. So like for me, even when I was a little kid or like 12, 13 years old, it was very rare I wanted to stay up past 9:30. I just always liked to go to bed early, which I think was one of my biggest secret weapons. And in 2001, that secret weapon was a huge factor in me becoming a nationally ranked lifter at the junior level. I'd already won a Teenage Worlds. And at this time, I'm working my way up the ranks in the junior class. So hope this kind of helped you guys out, gave you a little bit of motivation and education. Please go to winningstrength.com and check out the stuff that we have there. If you have any personal questions, please join Patreon, and I can try to help you out as much as possible. That also promotes a lot of the free stuff that we do on the website for you guys. Talk to you guys soon.